Okay, so how often do you do takeout or order out from restaurants? Whether it's once a month or once a week, there are some things you need to take into consideration before picking up the phone and ordering out. And the way we look at it, ordering food out that's going to support you rather than take you off track is just another strategy to have in what we call your healthy toolkit. So, believe it or not, there are options out there that can fit into a healthy plan that aren't plain or boring or bland. Trust us, we don't like to order out food that way either. So, we're going to share our tips with you that make it tastier for you and still keep in a little bit of health halo. So, be sure to stay on till the end as well because we're saving the best for last. So, you don't want to miss that. We also want to mention that portions are huge, right? In restaurants, they're notorious for giant portions. So just beware of that. Even if it's a healthier choice, you still want to manage your portions, make sure you're not overeating. One of the best things about getting takeout is leftovers. So you can just portion out a piece even before you start eating and save it for your lunch tomorrow or maybe dinner the next night. So share, and just don't overeat. Okay, for more wellness and weight loss information for women over 50, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future information. Okay, I'm going to start the ball rolling with Italian food. So, in each section, we're going to talk about what to watch out for, and then we're going to talk about healthier options. So, with Italian, you want to especially watch out for dishes that are creamy and buttery sauces like Alfredos, vodka sauce, and carbonara sauces. Also, this is kind of obvious, but anything fried like rice balls or fried calamari, fried onion rings, chicken or eggplant parmesan, even though eggplant is a vegetable, when they bread it and they put tons of cheese on it, it's just very heavy. Of course, pizza, not the healthiest option. There's a lot of bread and cheese. If you do order it, which we certainly do sometimes, some restaurants are offering cauliflower crusts, which is a little bit more on the healthy side. But even without that, you can look for thin crust pizza and then, of course, choose vegetable toppings instead of meat toppings. It saves a ton of calories and just so much healthier for you. So the best strategy is to make sure you order a giant salad that can go along with your pizza. So you're filling up on a salad, with a lot of vegetables, and then you have a couple of pieces of ideally a thin crust pizza with veggies on the side. Okay, some other better choices at an Italian restaurant would be something like grilled octopus or grilled calamari. And sometimes they do offer that instead of fried. Still delicious. Minestrone soup is great, steamed or broiled or grilled fish or chicken. Looking for tomato-based sauces like marinaras are a better choice. Chicken paillard is a nice dish in Italian restaurants that typically is not breaded, does not have a ton of cheese or any cheese, I think. Then you can always look for vegetables on the side. Steamed spinach, broccoli rabe are usually good choices. And then if you're really craving pasta, you want to look for appetizer portions, and then you can pair that with a salad or a side of vegetables and kind of have your cake and eat it too there.
All right, let's move on and talk about diner food. So, if you have a really good diner near you, there are so many options there. But of course, with diner food, we want to watch out for fried food, of course, things that are really high carby type foods. There's the rolls and lots of pasta. So let's skip those and move on to some healthier options at the diner. At a diner, there's options like grilled chicken with vegetables. Most diners have baked potatoes, but even better, they'll have a sweet potato, and then you can get steamed vegetables or grilled veggies. And also at a diner, a great option, which is super healthy, is an omelet, like a veggie omelet. It has its protein, has its vegetables, and a little bit of fat. So that's what we like to see. And then also there's an option of burgers. So you could get a burger without the bun and just maybe if they have iceberg lettuce, put it on that, and then it makes for a great bun alternative. Or grilled chicken, like I said, often there'll be a sandwich and just order it without the bun. And there you go, your grilled chicken, and vegetables on the side, and you're good to go. And of course, at diners, there's always salads, so many options there. But always ask for dressing on the side because some of these dressings are really not healthy. It could be bad oils, like we talk about in some other videos. And when you get it on the side, at least you can control how much goes on the salad. You know, you have these beautiful vegetables, this delicious salad, and we don't want to be covering it with something unhealthy like a unhealthy dressing. So either ask for possibly a substitution like olive oil and vinegar. Most places have that. Or maybe even you have a decent dressing at home that you can use on these salads. So that's diners. Now let's move on to one of my favorites is Turkish Mediterranean. And again, try to avoid too many fried foods or things that are loaded with cheese. That's certainly not going to be good for you. A little bit of feta cheese is fine if you tolerate dairy. But as far as what to get there, oh, yum, I love kebabs, chicken kebabs, beef kebabs, lamb kebabs, all good stuff. There's also chicken Adana, which is similar, and I like that. That's made with ground chicken and made into almost like a chicken burger. And I think they have beef Adanas, maybe even lamb Adanas at places. And then, of course, there's hummus. And hummus, so delicious and really healthy. And instead of the pita, you could ask for a plate of vegetables to dip in the hummus. So that'll bring it up a notch for sure. And of course, there's salads. That remember what I said earlier about the salad dressing. And another thing I almost always get at these restaurants is lentil soup. I love lentil soup. They're so good. And often there'll be other vegetables added to the lentil soup. So that's a really great option.
All right, so next up we have Japanese food. We're going to start off by saying we don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but you want to be careful with raw sushi, so sashimi. A 2020 study at the University of Washington found that there's been a 283-fold increase since the 1970s in a particular type of worm called the herring worm in raw or undercooked seafood. We just want to just give the shout out there to be extra careful when you're ordering sashimi. Aside from that, in Japanese restaurants, beware of things that are like those super spicy crunchy rolls, some of those signature rolls, or anything with tempura is going to be deep fried. So the rolls may sound like a healthy option, but they're usually really, really caloric and not considered as super healthy. And sometimes there's fried fish like inside the roll as well. Better choices at Japanese restaurants would be things like edamame, miso soup. If you can find Naruto rolls, those are amazing. They're wrapped in cucumber instead of rice. Really fun to eat. Of course, sashimi is, low cal, low carb. Just be careful with the worm issue. And salads with that lovely ginger dressing, a couple tablespoons of ginger dressing. Seaweed salads are great. Teriyaki chicken or salmon is also fun to have. They also usually include vegetables on the side. We sometimes ask for brown rice instead of white rice. No matter what kind of rice you have, just make sure you keep your portion reasonable. And you can eat pretty healthy at the Japanese restaurant. Moving on to Indian food. This is one of my favorites just because I am so in love with all the Indian spices. So the problem with Indian food is that they do cook in a lot of butter or ghee, a lot of oil, and many things are fried, especially the appetizers, so you have to be careful. Avoid things or limit things like samosas, tikka masala, korma. Those are made with a lot of cream and ghee. Paneer dishes use a lot of high-fat cheese, so you want to just be a little wary there, or just eat a small portion of that. Healthier options at the Indian restaurants would be any kind of dal. Tandoori is just the chunks of, grilled chicken or fish. The kebabs, anything from the grill, chicken or lamb with vegetables is great. Chana masala is a really good fun dish made with a lot of garbanzo beans. I often get the aloo gobi, which is potatoes and cauliflower, lots of spices, and then you can have a lot of fun with raita. So, the yogurt with the cucumber and just kind of makes all the dishes taste so good and just kind of lightens everything up. Again, watch your rice. Just keep your portion of rice on the lighter side and don't go crazy with that. And you can enjoy some really delicious Indian food.
All right, next up is probably the most popular takeout. It's Chinese food. So here, more than the others, I would say even. So you want to watch out for the fried foods. There's just so many fried foods in Chinese. It's the fried wontons, dumplings, egg rolls, and then there's again the super high carby foods like the white rice and the noodles. And we want to stay away from those, of course. There's a few meals that are really unhealthy and they're more like high sugar type foods. They have a lot of sugar in their sauce, and that would be like the orange, and that would be more like the orange chicken, General Tso's chicken, really not healthy. The good news is pretty much any Chinese place I've been to offers steamed chicken, beef, shrimp, of course, steamed veggies, and get the sauce on the side and a little bit of brown rice. We often order an extra serving of vegetables to make sure we're getting our vegetables in. And then, of course, some of the soups are really good there, like maybe a hot and sour soup or a tofu veggie soup. We've seen that a lot. So the Chinese food can be good. And there is a way to do takeout Chinese food right that won't set you off track. And finally, let's talk about Mexican food. So pretty obvious, but watch out for the tortilla chips and the nachos, deep fried things like taquitos. A lot of the burritos tend to be just super heavy and filled with lots of cheese and sauces and things like that. And then the wrap is going to be super high carb. You want to keep rice to a minimum there. So we have a local Mexican restaurant that we actually order from somewhat frequently, and they do an amazing job. They make grilled chicken that has just a great amount of flavor, grilled little steaks that they use for fajitas, and we just order a couple sides of those, and then we could just put it on our plate and eat it any way we want. And of course, grilled vegetables, and who doesn't love guacamole? It's the best. You got the avocado there. Ask for that on the side if you can. And I know Jane mentioned sometimes she will have grilled fish tacos there. So I haven't eaten any fish tacos. It's just not my thing. But be sure to ask for grilled and not fried, and a soft corn tortilla. And just, have one tortilla and don't have the whole three of them. Just take one out and eat the rest without the tortilla. All right, so we promised we would share our favorite takeout with you. And really, it's not necessarily our favorite, but it really is a super healthy option. And that is Chipotle. So if you have a Chipotle near you, it just gives such great options for almost like a fast food. They have a lifestyle bowl, which has a super greens lettuce blend, chicken, fajita vegetables, fresh tomato salsa, and guacamole. And when you get this, you can always ask for more protein if you feel that there's not enough chicken or whatever protein you decided to add to it. And they also have, it's so cool, they have Cauli rice bowls now, and you can get a Cauli rice bowl with all the same things that I just mentioned. Super healthy, low carb, really healthy, clean, good ingredients. So that would be our favorite. And if you go to Chipotle, let us know in the comments below what you get there and if you like it. So having these takeout ideas and knowing in the back of your mind when you go to order takeout that you want to look for the most healthiest version of it, it can really give you kind of a sense of peace, because you can get takeout once in a while. It's not going to set you off. You're still eating healthy. You're still keeping the plan, but you're making your life easier. And that's what we want to do. We want to help you know that you can still eat healthy and also have it easier too, right? So having more strategies like this really helps you incorporate healthy eating into your lifestyle without feeling like you're always depriving yourself. Fitting healthy eating into your everyday life is one of the core tenets we work on in our 3-month Simply Nourish program. The program offers so much as it gives a deep dive into eating issues and breaking old habits, and allows us to give so much support and accountability to the members. So to see if this program is right for you, we're going to put a link below, and you could schedule a quick call with us to go over the program details, and we can let you know if the program is running right now or when it will be starting. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you can be notified of future content and you won't miss anything great that we have to share. And also check out our next video for even more support on helping women in a healthy lifestyle and weight loss over 50.